Ediga lunguwe jagwa Mbalewane jagwa Ediga lunguwane Mbalewane jagwa pala ukenda mwe jagwa pala chalo chako lunguwe komeza chiuta jagwa Ediga pala chalo chako jagwa pala mbalewane waselunguwe komeza chiuta we jagwa reka kuwa we nawende muchise jagwa ivangelo ndi umowe omeza chiuta welungu reka kuwa we nawende muchise jagwa ivangelo ndi umowe komeza chiuta twaya ibalongo bami tumuvotere uno Edgarungu twaye enwenu akwetu tumuvotere uno Edgarungu balongo moyo komeza chiuta emwane tata emwane bajagwa palo chalo chako jagwa pala bana bako bakebuze komeza chiuta Edgarungu we pala ngale wane wasejagwa pala chalo jagwa komeza chiuta we jagwa reka kuwa we nawende muchise jagwa ivangelo ndi umowe omeza chiuta welungu reka kuwa we nawende muchise jagwa ivangelo ndi umoyo omeza kusolwezi ni lungu sangezi ni lungu nyanganya omeza mweni lunga ni lungu uno Edgarungu na mambo akubamba kwa miaka tu icheche yo aikaraba pa bufumi witubura kwamba mbauza kuwanisha mikwako kamitineki akine mikwako watendika kuwanisha au mnoso rwezi chingora roti vakwao vanhu vakafurumende vatsinga pokara vaikere miaka yavura kumwingitirapo ne minoye wamba kwamba mbauza kuingitirapo pamova tu acheche nakuti varongo vaministuke vakuingira kwa mutundu kako tuteva mona ibyo waingira muwe mundu ye muntu mo uchina mutima wako ka mutima wawama mutima wake babyambo byarese pajojo mwana musanchira bingeti bacheche bantu bafana kufakasha no bifakasha yetiga kuno kuntu twaiti muvotere uno muntu kwakura ne kutaya kimyene marongo ba weche areka kuwa we nawende muchise lunguwe ivangelo ndi wechagwa komeza kuchipata ni rungu soka ni rungu nyanganya komeza kurusaka ni rungu ngora ni rungu nyanganya komeza kusabya ni rungu kuchinga ni rungu nyanganya komeza chiuta ichindu chimwe na sambye chofire waishibanichi ukwishibenza mbushobe chindu chisuma wikonkera ukufotera mu mutundu pakiro wafotera mu mutundu karuba lero ndiye kuchenyesha kutira ufire waishwe kutira kukufota ninsambushobe ufire wafotera umuntu wo wishibe ukutira uyu muntu engati wale chalo pantachi ngefiri chagwa lungu umome wa mutembo umome wa chumfuira we musebera munandi taufiri okulwa bakubomfyoka mukubusholo buli chenjera pansambushobe choma ni rungu nyanganya nyangagwa komeza chechi ni rungu nazi ni rungu nyanganya komeza chiuta bita ulubuto niba Yesu bena bala sanika.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on Ubuntu channel this evening. It's a Sunday, beautiful Sunday that is, and today is the 5th of November in the year 2023. We are back on Ubuntu, just looking at what's been happening in the political circles over the past 1 week. Remember, this is Ubuntu channel, the platform that gives you a chance as well to speak your mind. And remember, whatever social media platform you're watching us from, please just drop us a comment and we should be able to get your views and also read them out right here on this platform. I'm not alone, of course. I'm joined by Himba. Himba, good evening, and thank you so much for being with us on Ubuntu channel.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. Good afternoon, viewers. Is it afternoon or evening? Wherever
Yes.
you are watching us from, and
Mm.
would appreciate. We really want to hear your voice, and we want to know what is happening wherever you are in the political arena, because chioneka fulu chalila. We don't even need kuenda kuma cinemas. Nikunkala che pama TV. So wherever you are, whatever is happening, please come into the studio. Right, there's a phone number. Please call in. We just want to hear what is happening wherever you are. What is your opinion? Whatever is happening in the political arena. Please feel free to interact with us once more. Good evening.
Okay. So here is the thing. Quite a number of interesting items that we have seen over the past 1 week. I think we have followed what has been happening with the Patriotic Front, Himba. Um, if I may ask you, how far do you think this is going to go?
Lawrence, siniona about this issue is ending anytime soon. Because I'm not seeing any signs or symptoms of it ending anytime soon. Reason being that, now Ishiva, e problem taitampile lelo. This problem
Uh-huh.
started 2 years ago after we changed government. That's when the problem started. And since they've not been able to resolve this problem from all this time, I don't think bala kwanishoku is over, and I don't think yala pwanumba. Bantu bamukolwenga bafula tabucha bwangu. Mu-PF na mufula bamukolwe, because even after the death of the late President Michael Sata, they struggled to come up with a leader. Remember? So it's like everyone wants to be a president, but unfortunately, according to the Zambian constitution, you can only have one president at a time. So when because even that where they could go all of them,
Mhm.
9 people at once. It doesn't make sense. Why can't they sit and agree and just pick on one person? Not for now, to alako nkaiwe, to afisheko, let's move with this person. And they all support that person. You see what I mean? But the fact
Yeah.
that they can go 20 of them, 9 of them, which means bamukolwe bengi and barefo kuteka punch time oine. So I don't see, because if you want to resolve a problem, the other one should give in for the sake of peace and unity. But it looks like tapala file no one is willing to do that. Even naba ikala kale pachipuna tabalefuayo kuchitefeka nena aliteka kale leke naba nandi bateke. There's no such kind of reasoning. So having said that, I strongly believe this is a battle which we are yet to see, and I think we are yet to see the worst of it, because it's like
Before
dialogue is not an
before
option for them.
before we can even delve much into the this particular issue, Himba, um, noises that are coming that we are hearing from the Edgar Chagwa Lungu camp are that actually the big man himself is not looking to be president again of the Republic of Zambia, and does not even want to stand again in 2026. The only thing that he wants to do is to ensure that he does the right thing, unlike what he did last time, where he just resigned and left that vacuum. So he's thinking probably he's coming back is to create a situation whereby he is able to hand over power peacefully to a person that the people in the party are going to actually want and vote for.
Uh, Lawrence, apopeni, epali problem. That's where the problem is. If somebody was genuine, and if they really want to see the PF grow, or they are really interested in the sustainability of the PF, by now he would have handed over power a long time. And even ayamaletas valelemba ti babikako ka backing akakwe bati awe na pa annual leave nkabwela, he wouldn't have done that. Where you really love the party and the team, you are going to say mwe bantu inena aliteka, I've done my part, I'm going to support whoever is going to come. So leke niwambi bateke kunala abasupporter. The same way his colleagues supported him, it's the same way he can support as well. It doesn't mean for you to be a leader unless you are holding the steering wheel. No, you can serve as a leader in different portfolios. So according to what I'm seeing, you should have done that a long time, and this is what has left this problem, has created this problem, and also further went and created a vacuum. So that's why I even say there was a vacuum, and Mao Sampa just filled in that vacuum they left. So for me, I think MUPF, you push your personal interest. And even when he was saying he's coming back, if you would listen to him, there's nowhere where he mentioned that he was coming to save the people of Zambia's interest. He said, my party. So even us, we are actually we are a second option to him. His first option is to save his personal interest.
Okay. Um, uh, Let us go into it. I think let me ask my producer to just give us a snapshot of two photos that actually were trending on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And it was very interesting actually to see what was happening at the PF Secretariat. That was on Friday. Is my producer able to give me those two photos so that we can just see what exactly we are talking about? So Himba, this was the situation on Friday where we saw Mr. Mausampa changing locks and locking up the secretariat of the Patriotic Front, and he says he does not want any more intruders to come through. Himba, when this was happening, what came to your mind?
For me, this is really sad. When I see whatever is happening in the PF, this is really sad. Because if you look at all these, PF. If there are two cobras, there are too many cobras in the camp, that environment becomes so hostile. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's a sign now they dialogue, they reach a consensus. So that's why I think by my problems, this is so embarrassing. This is a political party that ruled our country for 7 years. By now, they should have been more smart. They should have been more logical than what they are doing. Because now, ni katuni tuletamba. Look at picture kali moneka wino ni katuni. We are just watching. Look, why should we go through such? This is not a small party we are talking about. This is a big party that has been in power before. It's really like now it's just drama and we are being entertained.
Mm-hmm. So what was coming to my when this happened for me, I started thinking. So that is he trying to change the locks so that whoever has keys who he is not in on his side should not be able to access a secretariat? I think, which I think, in my personal understanding, is a secretariat for all the members of the party. That means paper members should be able to visit the secretariat when they feel like. Was it the right way to go?
My thinking is, I think this move, it's I think since he's got according to him, he's claiming that he's got the political the backing of the law. So I believe this move he's making, there's a law where he's trying to pin somewhere. When something happens anywhere, you have to first ask yourself, what is the motivation, or what does someone wants to achieve at the end of the day? Because he knows that tujatumalo na tucheni kwebaika hiki bantu bangabwele cheba elo ba PF tiwaziba. That could not even, the PF we know, kaja kacheni. It will not be difficult. But Africa chen tan bakachosa. I know what we mean. But then, if he could put that, I think he's trying to pin. There's somewhere he's trying to get. It's not actually the locking. There's something he's trying to get to. That is my thinking. So I was still waiting to hear what is in the background and why he's trying to, what the agenda he's pushing. I strongly believe the agenda is not just about to lock that gate. No, there's something behind it.
Okay, and it didn't even take long, Himba, the way you have put it. Let me just ask the producer, or before we even do that, let me welcome Mukelabai, who's just joined us. Mukelabai, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ubuntu channel.
Good evening, Rollins, and good evening, viewers. My apologies for coming late.
Interesting. Mukelabai, just to fill you in, we were actually looking at the situation where Mao Sampa went to change the locks for the Patriotic Front Secretariat, and put his own and locked the Secretariat. What is your reaction to that?
Well, can I get back to you on that one late, just for 2 seconds, 2 minutes? You can move on to the next project.
As we are waiting for Mukelabai to ready himself up to give us a response. Himba, you mentioned that those chains are nothing. I think the way you know Patriotic Front, and true to your words, actually, it just took less than 24 hours before the other side of Patriotic Front came and changed the same locks and put their own, and they also locked the Secretariat. Let me ask the producer to just give us the particular clip where that was happening, and we see exactly what was transpiring.
So sim B nabwera ya sim A or sim B abwera ya locking at team B. Then again team A na eve abwera ya chitachani.
Yeah, with just the following day, actually, we saw these images coming up. May the producer please give us the images so that we can see exactly what happened.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For those watching us on social media, we are here to reclaim our party secretariat.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us and following this particular discussion that we're having. We are just narrowing down on things that have happened in the political circles in the country throughout the past 1 week, and we've picked some of the most trendy things that have happened in terms of politics. And Himba and Mukelabai, earlier on, I showed you photos of images of Mr. Mao Sampa looking up the Patriotic Front Secretariat and uh, changing the locks and locking it up. Then the following day in the morning, the other group, that is the other faction in the Patriotic Front, goes to the same secretariat.
The MMD group.
Locks, and they also put their own, and they have locked it. As it stands now, this was the last team to go there and lock up. So we don't know what happens tomorrow. Probably this will also act as a build-up. Himba, your reactions to that?
As I've already told you, now Ishba, now Ishba, now and you know, entungulu shishtre abalefwa yokwisa tuteka nga teti bachite resolve ama conflict within bena beka if sibanga solving my problems bene bake, because you are even seeing kabwala line guys, you know, and you know, I'm even seeing that actually now what is running through my mind is the Patriotic Front, probably their members were even manageable. I think the arrogance was coming from the leaders, because if you see now, Makadas Kulibe, ni ma leaders who are on each other's throat. Kulibe kadaka aware chitapo vindu kuliba beka bali mu masuits. And I think for now, maybe we should even stop calling them honorables. Now, because the Makadas Kulibe if bazambotela mulila kumakoti, now they've got nobody to send. So they're doing it themselves. That is a shame, very embarrassing. Nomba iwe okay, iwe Lawrence ukumona finchule tontonganya. Ule munakatirishani palia. So abene bachira ni banani.
Very tricky to call, actually. Very interesting scenes that we have seen from the Patriotic Front Secretariat over the last 1 week, especially. It's very difficult right now to even see what is happening, and we've seen the fight has even gone over to Parliament, where it's interesting how the Mao Sampa faction has seems to be legitimized even in Parliament, and the Registrar of Societies, obviously the documents that we have seen where the Mao Sampa faction seems to be the ones in control of the party. And now, what even makes it more interesting is I don't know what to expect right now, because following what the scenes that we have just seen, that is the last clip that we've seen. Mao Sampa went on to announce that his Secretary General has gone ahead to report those particular people at the Secretariat to police, and he's hoping that police will take the matter up and ensure that the Patriotic Front Secretariat is actually made clear, and only legitimate people are there, and that in his reference he's talking about himself as the president, and obviously Mr. Mwona as his Secretary General. He has not appointed the vice president yet, as per Patriotic Front Constitution is supposed to do that, and he has not done that as of yet. We don't know who exactly is going to take over those things. All those things are things that we are looking up forward to, and this build up actually is very interesting. We want to know who is going to be the vice president.
I'm also learning that, I'm also getting convinced that MPF, there's serious enmity. Serious, they hate each other. And even Ababeba and Abaindo Vala Malok Pamozi, they are not even together. If you see what, there's no love, there's no unity in the PF. And as long as all these things are lacking, believe me, it will be difficult for them to rebrand their party. It will be difficult for them to, I think the selfish characters, Bapaki, some PF, and even among the leaders themselves, there's no discipline, there's no law and order. Somebody can walk out today, tomorrow they can come back. Tomorrow I can call you. There's no principles. There are no values. Because today I can call you names, tomorrow I can say whatever I want about you, Lawrence. Within 2 days, I'll get back and you're a sweetheart. So what do you stand for? Because if you're a leader in society or in a political party, you should have something you stand for. what describes you, what identifies you, who are you, what do you stand for in society. These leaders we are seeing, I don't even know we know what they stand for. We don't even know, because ababenentungulu twalabo mfa balatukana balasangwa maskando baleva, and again basangwa balipamo. So this is where we are really seeing the real definition of comrades, where they just unite for a certain purpose. After that purpose is done, winanguka njira kakwawo. But basically, I've also come to learn that in the PF, there's serious hatred among the leaders. They don't love each other. They don't even care for one another. And they don't even love the party. Everyone is pushing their personal agenda.
Let me bring in Mukelabai. Mukelabai, I'm not sure if you are set at this point in time.
Yes.
Okay.
I am here. I'm listening.
Okay. All right. We saw Mr. Mao Sampa closing the Patriotic Front Secretariat. We saw Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba also changing locks, doing exactly the same thing and removing the locks that were put up by Mr. Mao Sampa and claiming to be
problems.
What exactly?
Ambassador
what
who?
Exactly happening?
Before Mukelabai comes, which countries were Emmanuel Mwamba representing?
Apparently, in their roles, even if you retire, you remain an ambassador. Just like Frank Mutuvila is still ambassador. Frank Mutuvila, he's back.
It's only in Zambia where you start praising people who had held positions, before and then after. You still want to call them because there's lack of employment. That's why you hold on to their portfolio and still call them by their titles, by their former titles. Otherwise, they are former. We should put the word former ambassador of a certain country where he was representing, not ambassador. He is not an ambassador anymore. And that behavior does not actually depict the ambassador's behavior. To me, these are childish behavior. There's a lot of childishness in and not serious in the Patriotic Front. And this is what we told the Zambian people to say, Muka, you will know them by their own fruits. Even though they put on their neckties and hung their credentials on the walls, don't think that these are people with respect and dignity. If they were learned people, they were very good learned people with good intentions for the party, they would have actually found a solution, a way to fix this problem themselves amicably within the political party. But what do we see? We see them attacking. This is the kind of politics that they are good at. Character assassination, calling each other names, trying to degrade one another. So to me, come again?
Your line is breaking.
Is it?
Now we can get you. Now we can get you clear.
Maybe if you can log out and log in again.
Okay, I can try that.
Okay. In the meantime, Himba, it's a little bit interesting for me, because now we get the opportunity to make some predictions here. Himba, first and foremost, obviously this is a matter that is in court, and it would be unfair to actually discourage one party from pursuing their legal route in believing in their quest to obtain justice. And at the end of the day, we hope that justice will be served. Whoever the court pronounces as the legitimate leaders of the Patriotic Front are actually kept as such. Now, we saw what also has happened in Parliament. The Speaker has seemingly legitimized Mao Sampa as the president of the Patriotic Front, and is hearing from the Secretary General of the Mao Sampa faction when it comes to correspondence. And we see the usual leader of opposition, that is Honorable Mndubile, removed from that position. because someone else has been appointed in that role. Himba, what's your take on that?
I really wouldn't love to comment much, as you said that the matter is in court. But kainge nomba na tubeerera ffe mu PF mulituma principles tule munase baana wikute pakwaba n'obunga tapaba ensoni, we've all, all that. But, it's, I believe that even whoever is involved and even those institutions that are handling this matter, they are qualified enough to proceed to handle these matters and also to give us guidance. I don't think Parliament would be just making decisions in the best interest of the ruling party. If that is what Parliament would do, it would be a very embarrassing and sad situation. But I pray and I want to believe that whatever Parliament is doing, it's within the confinement of the law and they are on the right side of the law, because ba PF elo ba PF belalira nafao, because elo babeba abantu ati if you are in authority, make sure you create sanity in these government institutions, because when you leave office, you want these institutions to defend you or to protect you. So if the time the PF were in power, they really left sanity in these institutions. I don't think today nga fiance tika. But one, the PF, they are crying because they know how they created the systems to be corrupt. They know how they made the systems to be rotten. So now they kukoti you know what I'm trying to say. So it's really, I only hope even the UPND is going to clean all these government institutions so that we operate in a sanity and conducive environment for every Zambian. But otherwise, the PF, they're also scared because they know the way they were pulling strings. If you sign your signature indoors, So they think that is what is happening. But it's what they created, it's the environment they wanted, it's the Zambia they wanted. So let them dance to it. But we are praying that can the political leaders correct the situation in our country, and can we live and can we do things that we are always on the right side of the letter?
Now, they seem to be pushing a narrative to say that the democratic space in the country is actually shrinking. I'm talking about the PF Edgar Chagwalungu faction. That is, it's interesting how hard this narrative is seemingly growing wings, and we are trying to actually understand exactly what they are complaining about, but it's very difficult. Mukelabai, I'm going to bring you on this one. Do you feel the democratic space in the country is actually shrinking?
The problem is that our brothers, they are hallucinating, and when they think, the mistake they're making is that they have not they have not gone away from from being a ruling party, from being in a government. They think when they speak, the whole nation is listening. And when they have problems within their party, they think it is the whole nation that is facing the Mao Sampalungu situation. It is not. It is all in their mind. It is because the whole country, we don't have any shrinking democratic space in Zambia. If anything, we have a proper democratic space where we see the people that do not understand the principles of democracy exposing themselves, exposing their attitude towards the same. And they're using democracy, freedom of speech, to express themselves however they wish. They can conduct elections within their party. They can go to social media, complain, and they can go to embassies to complain without being harassed or being arrested. So how is the democracy shrinking in Zambia? It is all in their mind because they are used to get things on a silver platter. They are used to have decisions being made for them. They are used to have decisions that are, they are used to have everything, anything they want. They can just have everything. But now when they receive some negative responses and when they cannot handle the truth and they are still in denial, they are still living in the river Nile. They are still in denial about PF because they think anything that is happening within their political party, they are not taking full responsibility to say it is our baby, it is our our responsibility, and we have to face it. Let us hold this horn, the bull by its horn. No, they want to find someone to blame, and then they want to clean themselves to say they are so clean. They have nothing to do with the confusion taking place in the government, in their party, but it's everything to do with someone else. They always have to find someone to blame, not themselves. You will never hear the PF complaining to say, because of our decisions, because of our wrong mistakes, we are so sorry we did this. Never. It is always somebody's fault. Always somebody's fault. And this time around, their narrative is, remember, they have been telling the nation that Hakainde is going to bed with the Western world. He's in bed with Western world. He's a puppet. The Hakainde was chosen by, was imposed on us by the West, which is untrue. Remember, yes, okay. And now here you are. It's a catch-22. Here you are, the very people. Sorry, Lawrence. The very people that are busy crying that there's the shrinking democratic space in the country, and they are the people who have been talking of, no, the Americans and the West, the Europeans, they're the ones that imposed HH on us. They are now going back to the people they claim they condemn to say, can you help us? Honestly,
let me I just want to ask my the producer to give us a clip so that our viewers are up to speed on what you're talking about. Let's see the next clip, and then you hold your thought. I'll give you a chance to continue with your thought. So we're just trying to bring in the viewers up to speed on what exactly you have brought up. Please remember, our viewers, your views are very important to us. Your comments are actually what keeps us going. Let us know what you feel on everything we are talking about. See you on the other side.
Maybe what he has said, he said we should arrange our meeting in 3 minutes for foreign affairs. That's what he said. Do you think Minister of Foreign Affairs will facilitate? They are the ones mutilating about staying in Parliament.
Unfortunately, yeah. So I appreciate the situation. Yeah. We can only go through our formal channels, and that's how we are supposed to.
Yeah, when things are normal, yes, you do that. But things are not normal right now.
Just press, I think, for me, urgency and necessity.
Yeah, absolutely.
That causes people to sidestep on these humanities. Get an engagement and find a solution.
I will also engage with our chief political officer and his team as well, just to make sure that he is also aware of the concerns by PF, and that maybe there is other means, channels that are already in place in which the polycon section and the front office can then engage with PF. So one way or the other, I will go back in. I will ensure that is relayed to both offices.
If anything is the case.
But also, if the Americans, you want to fold your arms and take away and watch this to continue the generation, that's your decision. You make that decision. We will not force you to meet us. We will not impose ourselves on you. Because if that's a decision you have made, you have taken, that let them go and fight themselves, that's fine. So we will not force you. But we've come here. We've come to appeal to you to say things are not normal the way things must be in a democracy, and this and the support you are giving to UPND and what UPND are doing must come to an end.
Yeah, because look, we are representatives of the people. We are getting the views of our people, and these are the views that we are presenting to you. Otherwise, we would have allowed our people to come and deliver the message on their own.
Sure.
We have calmed them down, and we decided to come.
Yeah, no, and I greatly appreciate that. And once again, just like democracy, you all know that the United States is a very big proponent of the freedom of speech, right? I'm sorry, I don't have, actually, it's funny, I don't have a card on me right now. So, what's that? What is my number? Why? Next time, you can always come back through here. I've got a lot of folks here with cameras and
welcome back to our viewers, and in that clip we see members of the it's very confusing, members of Patriotic Front faction are going to meet up with the U.S. ambassador to Zambia, Mr. Michael Gonzalez, at the U.S. embassy in Lusaka to discuss the UPND leadership. Now, before we even talk about what was this about,
with no
before we even get to the details of what they are talking about, Mukelabai, I'm reminded of a situation where the Patriotic Front, while in government, was calling the U.S. embassy names. They even facilitated for the removal of the previous U.S. ambassador to Zambia, and we stayed without an ambassador for quite some time. And today they are running there. I don't know. Is it making sense?
That's how delusional. That's how delusional our brothers in the PF are. They have a memory. They have recollection problem. They have memory problem. You see, that's why you have memory problem when you are not doing things in the right way, or you are lying to the people. You will have a problem. You cannot remember a lie. You forget a lie. But the truth, it's always, you always remember. This is the problem that we have. It was quite an embarrassment for members of parliament to go and parade to a security guard, because that is not an embassy, that is not an ambassador. They were confronted by the security guard of the US, and he was much even clever than the MP, all of them, putting them together. They could not even convince him. But if you look, I saw some clip somewhere where Mao Sampa went and met the real American ambassador, and they had I believe Mao Sampa went to apologize for the ignorance and the exposure of the foolishness of his party cadres that are still, because those MPs, they are cadres who have not really thought through what they were doing. They were acting on the impulse, and that is what is going to cause them or put them in a problem, because they are not thinking through what they're about to do. Listen to Chilangwa, the way he was coming out, exposing his ignorance. You don't deal with the people, a foreign country. You don't go and address them like that, baguette.
He's even threatening.
No, the people are supporting. That is so foolishness, and that is, they have reduced themselves to a level where I don't even understand. Now I understand what Himba was saying, to say these chaps, they've been just cladding in suits, yet they are the ones that have been causing all this. Bariama Kadas, Baripama City Market or whatever. They are even much more reasonable when what's his name? They are much reasonable than these chaps who call themselves learned people, the honorable. To me, that was so terrible planning, and they have just exposed themselves. I believe Americans, they are laughing, really laughing at us so much. It is so sad. musevanya ulia batupela ba PF musevanya kufyalo fya basungu koma Americans okoto evale tukama Americans aba American baleta bugeismo ba America baleta shan. They even made an ambassador from America being removed from Zambia to go back because of the PF. Lelo eko bale butukira ati seni mutu wafuirisheko mutule. Which problem is there? Even the Americans, they are laughing because the Americans now they're enjoying the freedom of being a sovereign nation in Zambia, and they have a cordial relationship with the current government, and they are being treated with respect that they deserve. Not those dramatists that went there to expose their ignorance and foolishness. To me, that was so childish, and they should be ashamed of themselves. You don't involve an outsider in your inner house fighting. This battle is between you, the confused PF cadres, together with your current constitution and your drama in your. You don't bring the nation, or you even go to the international world to do what? Come on, guys.
Okay.
You know, to me, my brother, those guys have just exposed themselves. Now I will have no respect for those chaps. They've just exposed themselves, their ignorance. Baleta mano ya kwisa shirefo kulanda mano ya kumushi because ya kumushi ya wama sana ukuchira ali abatwele ku American embassy. That was childish. That was foolishness at its level best. To me, vacational question kuimati, they are honorable. Those are useless creatures. They've showed me how low they could be. You can be educated, but you can be a most dangerous ignorant person is the one that calls themselves educated. That was a proper exposure of their ignorance. They should not do that, and they should be ashamed of themselves. I wish there was a law to punish them. They could have been punished for just having done that. Filiabale tulopola abafyashi waya mkwambo kulanda ubufi kuli baneba tine kumbe mungandesu tatulire bwino mungandesu bachiralo bama kufilopola nomba twalikwata malamulo.
Mukelabai, let me bring in Himba at this point in time. Himba, we saw the ambassador that the PF met, and there is another ambassador on the screen right now who was actually Mao Sampa met, and we can actually tell there are two different ambassadors. Now I'm trying to get the picture here. Who is fooling who here?
Nakukanina, you are on your own on that one. I'm not with you. You are on your own.
I want to know who is fooling who here, because we have seen in the space of 1 week we have seen two different ambassadors. Yeah. And for a layman, someone who doesn't know who is the ambassador between the two, how do you even differentiate?
My father used to tell me that amano ya class na amano ya kwikala na abantu nokuteka abantu yalipusana. He used to say you can be very intelligent in class, but when you are brought into the society or to rule people, you are basically very useless. So we should, I think, understand there's wisdom in there. In the first place, they went to meet this international leader without an appointment. And remember, this political party we are talking about, the PF party, Group B or Group A, these are the people who've been in government. They know the protocol. They know the procedures to meet an ambassador. Why at meeting ambassador? This guy is telling them, you don't have an appointment. Then a member of parliament in his suit, you're supporting UPND. If you support UPND, who does that? And as we said, how this is the institution they've been fighting when they were in power, even when they're out of power. you know, it's not just making sense the way they are behaving, and it's quite embarrassing. And you know, honestly, if I listen to Max speak, there's a Max guy, Max MPF Ngalelanda, he speaks a lot of sense than all these honorables. Actually, I mean, than all these PFA leaders, you know.
Cadres. They are
Yeah,
cadres.
yes, if you listen when Max is speaking, there's a lot of logic in what he says compared to Kulia Wefewadechta. Because
And
basically you
Sunday
can't
Chanda.
exactly. And you know, what is killing PF is the ignorance and the arrogance they have. So they were thinking they'll go to American embassy, and because they are from the former ruling party, the law is a law, and you're not above the law. You belong here. You are not above the law. And you know, the ambassador just said, you don't have an appointment. I can't meet you. I never had an appointment to meet 10 political leaders. So basically, they are being shown that it doesn't work. What you did with PF, it's wrong. Please sober up and get into the system. You know, you'll be shooting yourselves in the legs, and you'll be just hitting a dead end, because Mukelabai in your own arrogance, but that's not the way the world works. I've just realized that in the PF we had a lot of ignorant people who didn't understand. That's why Valela and that I'll hand over power to myself, because there's no such a thing in the world. But to them it was possible, you know. So all these languages, they were coming because of ignorance, because what they did, they've displayed their high levels of ignorance even in parliament. They are not even using ideas. You know, I was even
in laws
yeah.
we say kozela
And
bazinzilika.
I tell you,
Picking on one of the lines that you brought out, Himba, you hear Mr. Nixon Chilango actually telling that official from the U.S. Embassy to say we would have brought our people here.
Thank you.
Was that a threat?
That's what I'm saying. It was to him, it was a threat. And you know, I think
And was it necessary?
I'm also appealing to the maybe to the Zambian people on behalf of the former Patriotic Front. I think maybe to Peleko time, they haven't yet accepted that they are no longer in power. And they haven't yet accepted that they are not an option anymore. Even this man they are pushing, he's not an option for us. For us, it's a history, it's gone. So the PF, let's understand them that Limtabala Sumina, because they are still behaving like they are in power, you know, and they feel they can still make decisions. Their time is gone. Muchibemba batila insoni ebuntu bali abantu abakyopelete bakwete n'ensoni and n'abaana babo n'abeshukuru babwe nga baleta mbati bambuye efyo bakirala ndafirya. Insoni, that's why I'm saying stop using titles like ambassador, honorable. Let's see how these honoraries and the honorables are coming in the ambassadors.
At this point, I'll ask my producer to just line up messages that I think there are two people who are bringing out quite some interesting points when it comes to messages. We have Namwinga there telling us she's watching, and we appreciate Namwinga that you are with us. Thank you so much for being on Ubuntu channel. And then Abraham as well telling us that he's watching from Kawambwa. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Kawambwa. We appreciate your viewership. And now this is where it gets interesting. This comment from Ruben is saying, let the PF1 and the PF2 share the days when they can visit the secretariat. I think this is in relation to the issue of changing locks towards the same building. And now Janet Manjimela actually has been quite vocal on YouTube, and we are listening to we are reading part of the message that she has sent. She goes like, in the PF are being dealt with by God Himself. Those guys have done terrible, have done terrible, abominable things to the people of Zambia. Please let's go to the next message, because she continues. There's quite a lot she's saying. It is not even memory loss from Mukelabai, but arrogance and primitivity. I think there is another one from her, which says, Soko Mukelabai is more reasonable than Soko. Mukelabai is more reasonable than the bunch of crooks. let's go to the next one. I think this one is a little bit long, and it's coming from Wallace, which is saying, the confusion in Notorious PF. I think that is the NPF that someone is was referring to. Confusion in the Notorious PF just indicates what type of leadership we had, who always operated outside the law. It's embarrassing, and Notorious PF MPs are not worthy called honorables, but instead they are horrible leaders. Zambians that kept with these jokers for 7 years. They can't solve their own problems, but instead they went to ask America to help solve their intra problems. I'm ashamed even looking at those jokers asking American ambassador to put sense into their failures. I'm glad the message I think did not continue, but we also have Mleya Squared telling us, watching from the Copper Belt capital. We appreciate your viewership. I think takes us back. Sim 1 and Sim 2 PF should give each other days on when to go to the PF secretariat instead of this one going to change logs and the other one going to change logs.
It can't
Himba,
happen.
what?
It can't happen. What you are saying, there is logic. It's people can sit on the table and agree. So that it can't happen because logic or common sense among NPF, it doesn't exist. So it can only happen where people can sit together and reason. So even to think at 20% in my shift, it takes somebody who is reasonable and logical. So that is an answer.
Interesting. Mukelabai, I think there is we have seen how vocal Janet Manjimela is talking. It has been on YouTube. Thank you so much, Janet, that you are watching us, and we believe that you are having a good time watching this program. Now, particularly, let's go to second message.
May I respond to her on one message where she
I'm actually trying to bring something to your to your attention so that you can respond, which is in the second message where she's talking about it's not even memory loss, it's just arrogance and primitivity. Mukelabai, you also actually use this word with these words in your statement.
I totally agree with her 100%, Mami Oma Manjimela. It's good to see that people are watching, and I think it's better to put these people in their rightful place where they belong. Now they are exposing themselves. Now we see for who they really are, you know. And the problem is that they don't want, like we always say, they don't want to take responsibility for their own mistakes and for their wrong things. And to me, that's where the problem is. They shall forever blame everyone but not themselves. They are forgetting that these are the people who have videos that are going around talking about who, like when it's Shimba Kambwili and GBM, there's that audio, that video that is going around on social media where they were caught, they were recorded talking about us. We would rather support Mao Samba, not these MMD hijackers, blah, 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 blah. And then today, we see Shimba Kambwili standing and claiming to support, what's his name? The current government, the former president. Who does that? Then you can tell that these guys have a problem.
Are you seriously telling me you have forgotten the name of the former president?
Sometimes, you know, when you are traumatized, you forget. But the thing is, what I can only tell you is that the mistake these guys are making now is to attack the three arms of government. To me, that's a very wrong approach. You cannot, somebody once told me to say, if a judge or the speaker or anybody that is the head of an institution try to give you an advice, can you do this, can you do that, and then you go different way, you will be sorry, you'll be disappointed, because at the end of the day, the decision will lie on the very individual that you are busy demonizing. Our PF for MPs, our ambassador, and these are chaps who have been attacking the speaker of the house, the deputy speakers. You've seen them for yourselves. You've seen the tantrum they've shown. You've seen them calling the national speaker the names. They've gone to the judges, calling the judges names, accusing them of going in midnight to meet the executive. HH, who is an executive, they have been calling him, accusing him of a lot of things that are untrue. But now they have a situation within their camp. Where are they going to go? They have a problem now. They go to court, they've already smeared their complaints there. And the judges, those are human beings. Even when the judges are neutral, independent, autonomous, they know. They have feelings. They will decide. The parliament, what made Nelly Moti? She's the speaker. That's the legislature. She will come up with her own decision. Why? She knows who is busy attacking who. She wants to protect the office. You go to the president, the executive, what happens? HH, he knows what to do as well. So do not blame anyone when you are busy causing confusion and then you want to run to these three arms of government to seek for help. They won't help you. Now you are appealing to the international world. The international world, they know. They have you on record demonizing them, calling them, bringing gayism in Zambia, doing what? And that's where you go and say, Tuafurishe Niko. Do you think they're going to help you? You have just shot yourselves in the leg. So PF, okay. Calm down.
Mukelabai, as we are running out of time, let us go to Parliament actually on the issues that you have brought in to do with Parliament. I think this was also one of the biggest happenings in Parliament. Let me ask my producer, just give us a clip of what transpired at the Parliament of Zambia.
You can stop the clock for the time being. The Honorable Member for Petauke Central, what's your point of order?
Under 202 on the privileges of the member. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, the members here, I was told to say, you are going to make my life difficult. To tell the member that you will make your life. You can say question, it will come to you.
You are completely out of order. Honorable Member for Petauke Central, you know the rules. If you are versatile and you know knowledgeable about the rules, please apply them and comply with them. I will name you. Maybe I can start it on you. Honorable Member for Petauke, Mr. J. Banda, I find your behavior grossly disorderly, and sending you away for today's sitting is insufficient punishment. I therefore, in accordance with Standing Order 208, name you. Business is suspended for a few minutes. The question is that Mr. Emmanuel J. Banda be suspended from the service of the House for a period of 7 sitting days, effective 3rd November 2023 up to 15th November 2023 inclusive. Any objection? I see none. The question is agreed to. The Honorable Member for Petauke Central, you can stand up, please. The Honorable Member for Petauke Central is suspended accordingly. Before I order you to withdraw from the chamber, let me inform you, Mr. Emmanuel J. Banda, that in accordance with the decision of this House, you have been suspended from the service of the Assembly for a period of 7 sitting days. During the period of your suspension, and in accordance with the Standing Order 2091 and 2, and also Section 28.3 of the National Assembly, Powers and Privileges Act Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, you will not enter the principles of the Assembly. You will not participate in any business or activities of the Assembly and its committees, including those in which, if any, you participate in your capacity as an honorable member of the National Assembly, and receive the salary or allowances that you are entitled to. I now order you to leave the chamber through the main entrance.
Well, we have witnessed quite a number of scenes over the last 2 weeks in Parliament where a lot has really happened. And this time around, we saw Mr. Emmanuel J. Banda being first suspended for 7 days, and later on, the Speaker added another 7 days because of some rantings that he made before he even left the chambers on that particular day. Now, the question is, Mukelabai, what is happening really at Parliament? Because it's now been almost every now and then we have quite ugly scenes in Parliament.
If usually nalalanda mchivemba usually if ikopera ifintu fetaveshive if irechitika and if tavaishiva how the rules work in the house. Bare kopera Malema, we know that has been happening in South Africa. Malema is very smart. He knows how he deals with his with the government in South Africa. And that is where they are trying to copy. Unfortunately, we have rules, and the speaker, she is the one in charge of the house. She is the one. She's the chief. She can do anything she wants. She's immune from any prosecution or anything. If those chaps are against what the speaker is presiding on, they can appeal. They can even take the matter to court if they want.
Your line seems to be breaking.
They can actually institute. They can go to the court if they feel that the speaker is abusing her powers. But the speaker is just doing her job, and she's been actually very strict, and she does not want any nonsense, because these chaps, they have never. JJ has never been in Parliament, and this is his first time. You see, his behavior is totally unacceptable. The way he's talking, the way he's coming out is so childish, it's so dull, and you can tell that this kind of parliamentarianship does not really conform with the norms and codes of the House. It's not Emmanuel Banda alone. There was Munduvile who was attacking the speaker as well. Just because the speaker was not agreeable with what he wanted to. They want to control. They want to impose their ways onto the House. But the House have rules, and those people are there. That's their domain. They can decide how they wish. If Munduvire, JJ, they were put in the position of a speaker, they would do exactly the same thing. So the Madam Speaker and others, deputy speakers, they are within their rights it's their prerogative to use their powers to suspend and even terminate. And all I wish they could also remove those privileges like salaries. They just suspend them without pay. That way we will see the MPs behaving like normal. Nomba pabaleba chita suspendi, ero baleba pero tuma allowances. That is to me, bale umfana wino because nika leave vampela, leave alea muku for at the end of the day. You know, even though the name will be tarnished, but they need to, our MPs need to behave, to just respect the decorum of the parliament and yes.
I'll need to cut you short and also allow Himba to come in on the same. Himba,
Okay.
what is your take on the clip that we have just seen?
In Tonga, there's a saying that says, "Julu jibomba kudinkila." That ka anti hiu kama nkala soft nga mukamenyapo every day. Why am I using this proverb? I'm saying the Speaker of the National Assembly should not give up to bring order and sanity in Parliament. And for me, the behavior that is coming from the members of Parliament from the opposition side, it's something which I expected. It's not something strange, it's something that was expected. So because they are used to behave against the law, they are used to do things to run the country chipante pante. They are used to do that. No system, no, they never respected the constitution. So they think they are still in the same position. So for now, Madam Speaker, thank you so much for the job you are doing. Please keep on panel beating, machten panel beat. Bazankala Bwino, my members of parliament, don't give up. And they will be sober that they are members of parliament. Keep on sending them away. Although we don't know what the law says. Allowance, pasako na hafu. We don't send them to parliament to go and waste our time and waste our taxpayers' money. We send them to represent us and to speak on our behalf. So when they are not there speaking for us, we withdraw our money because we want them to speak for us. And it's very embarrassing the way they are behaving.
Okay. At this point in time, I'm going to give you, I think, under a minute so that you can give your concluding remarks. Remember, we have another program that is coming on at 19:30 hours right here on Ubuntu. As usual, we are always live. So I'll give my two guests here just a minute to just wind up so that we can prepare for the next program that we're having.
Okay, thank you so much. As I conclude, I would love to say these people who are crying that the political space is narrowing in Zambia, they are lying, because even their Democrats they are crying for, they are lying. From the time UPND came into government, we've never had any minister or any UPND leader to stand and start insulting. We've never lost any citizen due to political violence. We've never even had the head of state standing and saying, Nkamukaka, Nganashta. We've never, but those are things we used to hear. So now, even what they are crying for is, the UPND are working hard to clean the system and to manage that in Tunglu Shefe Washita behave Nifimbi, Nama, ordinary persons, the way they behave, it's different. This is what the UPND is working on. But PF, the political space, they are not even realizing that they are fighting among themselves now. Because everyone, they are fighting among themselves. So they should even stop crying, whatever. We are tired of their noise. Can they put their house in order? And we want them to go and do the checks and balances in parliament. Now start using the brains, not donkey, not try and error. No, we want them to use their brains in parliament and represent our country well. I submit.
All right. Mukelabai, please come in.
Thank you. Well, I think a lot has been said, and whatever is happening today in our country, it's not the whole nation that is going to face these problems. We have serious matters that we are concerned, our economy, that the PF themselves destroyed. And today, they are the people who are busy trying to turn the tables and point a finger at the current government that is solving their problems and wants to say they are the ones that created this problem. You're forgetting that it's them nawo mwamona mwebekala chalo ebo benetwala emieba kutira ati aba PF tabakwete plan moneni ofu baona ole chalo and moneni behavior yabo lelo. So I am actually in support. I am not so much good supporter of Miles Sampa, but I like his stance so far. He's trying to teach these guys a lesson. They did this to him, and he is simply reciprocating. And they should not be blaming other people but themselves. They started this. They must finish it themselves. Let them not rob the whole nation, saturating the whole nation with their simple problems, their inner house their inner house fightings. Let them fix their problems within themselves. Let them leave the country out of this, because we have a serious issues to deal with. The Nkongole oyo batushira indala mashira baiba tuleisa na tuishwa tieshire ngoti
We need
bale
to change
tumpa.
their mindset. We have a big job to change their mindset.
Yes. So we are going to come for them. We are going to come for them. Indala mashira baiba bashika na tumona no mambo kushikulula. That's why balebwela ati mu power, balebwela mu politics. So we know that nabakwata uka support akaleba tumpika. But we know that that's our money that they stole, and we are coming for that money. Just mark my word. We will arrest you and you will go in jail. If Akainde fails to arrest you, I personally will come for you. Won't say Nkesakakwa, because you don't know what I do. Nkesakakwa. I promise you. Thank you.
Okay, I thank you so much, Mukelabai, for that submission, and also thank you so much for joining us this particular evening. I also want to recognize everybody who has sent in the messages on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you so much, Wallens.
There's
Thanks
the
so
last
much,
one.
Elvis,
Lawrence, sorry.
and
There's a
Ribat
last
as well.
message.
We
There are two last
appreciate
messages.
your presence with us. At this point in time, we are just closing the program, and we hope that you keep interacting with us, even as my sister Namwinga comes through with a moment of grace just after this program. Remember, this was a special edition of Ubuntu Politics, where we are just looking at what was happening in the political circles during the week. On behalf of myself, Himba, and also Mukelabai, not forgetting the man upstairs, that is Mr. Emmanuel, we say good evening and continue watching Ubuntu channel as we go live in the next few minutes. Good night.